Hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show, your number one all in New York sport podcast. I'm your host, Dominic Konowski. We are joined here by SK Light driver George Bessette Jr. George, hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show.
How are you? It's good to have me on. Thank you. Appreciate this.
It's an honor to have George on, and I'm doing good. Now, George, just finished up your rookie SK Light season. What a season you had. How do you describe it?
It was definitely a learning curve, going from full fender cars to open wheel cars. Even though I raced go-karts back when I was younger, it's still back to the learning curve again. But definitely proud of my team and myself. I feel like we got a really good car, and we're just missing something. So doing a lot of work this off season, and hopefully we'll be in victory lane.
Yeah, hopefully you will be. Now, what are your goals for this off season? The opening day at Stafford is just a few weeks away when you really look at it.
Yeah, well, we're just trying to fine-tune some things, do some things that we're going to try some new things, and basically like any other team, just some research and development. And, Stafford and Thompson are creeping up soon. We might race Thompson, so, we're trying to get both cars ready to go, and we're going to give it all we got.
Well, hopefully they are. Now, like you said, you were in the Fender Series, the Street Stock Series, formerly the Deer Stocks at Stafford, had a lot of success in that. What would you describe being your most memorable race in the Street Stocks?
It was definitely probably the fall final or the 30 lap or even my first win. Those three races, they're really on top. And, without my team and the effort we put into that car was unbelievably fast every week. And we were never outside the top 3 to top 5, starting, average start of 12th halfway through the season. And our average finish was second. So, there's really no complaining at the end of the year that in 2018, that was definitely a memorable year. And we had a lot of success in that car, and hopefully that success will overlap in my sophomore season of those FK Lights.
Now, hopefully it will. Now, what's the biggest difference that you have seen driving a SK Light to a Street Stock?
It was probably definitely tire. And, in the Street Stock, you got no horsepower, but you're driving a 3,000-pound race car on 7-inch tires is a little harder than, a 2,600-pound race car with 15-inch tires with no horsepower. So, it's definitely the power to weight ratio. We're going a little faster when I was in Street Stocks with the restrictor plates, so we're going faster now in the lights, but the Street Stocks now are also pretty fast. So, I feel like the Street Stock was a little bit a harder car to drive, but you still got the tires sticking out, and just the racing competitive is a little bit different. So,
yeah, definitely big difference, especially since the Street Stocks are fendered and the SK Lights are not. Now, going into this 2021 season, like you said, it's going to be a sophomore season. What are your goals?
Definitely, I'm still searching for that first win. I haven't gone a season without getting a win at Stafford, per se. And, we came a little bit short last year, but, we had a great season, finished top 3 in points, and kept our nose clean every race pretty much, and then we had 2 DNFs, and for minor issues, no mechanical failure, just caught up in some stuff. But definitely want to get a win this year, and maybe a couple if we can. And always that big goal is win the championship. So if we can win the championship, that'd be awesome.
Yes, it would be. Now, your rookie season, that was in the height of the whole coronavirus. There was talks if the season would even start. Of course, it did. 14 races. But do you feel like, compared to this upcoming season, do you feel like you're going to have an overall disadvantage? Because the rookies are, for example, Megan Fuller, they're going to have the full 20-plus race season, as you only had 14 races to really get used to the car.
Yeah, well, last year we had 14 races, and basically right when I got comfortable was right when the season ended. So, it was the same thing my Street Stock. It took me 20 races or whatever it was. 22 races is the final Friday night in 2017 for me to finally get my first win. And, I only had 14 this year. I don't know, just call it driver, learning. It takes me a little longer to get used to something. I was used to it. It just, it was new to everybody. My dad hasn't raced a modified since 2004, and he was always in, a late model or a Street Stock for his whole life. So it's just something new. I mean, you got these other drivers that I'm competing against that's been around it or been in it or know people that have been in it for their whole life. So it's a little bit more learning for us, but we'll figure it out.
Yes. Now, your nickname, Mad Pup, where did you get that?
It's definitely from my dad. You know, my dad's been always called the Mad Dog, and I'm sure many people know why. So, you know, it kind of just pushed over onto me, and, you know, I'm honored to carry that name and, you know, carry the family along and race it.
That is very cool to hear. You know, not a lot of people know the reason behind nicknames, so it's very cool to hear that. Now, I gotta say, you have one of the best paint schemes in the SK Light field. What made you come up with that?
It's definitely influenced from my street stock. My street stock was, you know, pretty much known as the creamsicle of Ben Dodge, so we definitely kind of pushed it over. I mean, that paint scheme on my street stock basically came from Ed Pulio's number 7 street stock because that car was the car I had. So I kind of just flopped the red and made it orange and kind of just stuck with me. So with my SK lights, I just took the orange, I just put it on the sides and made it my own. So I like it simple, you know. I mean, there's a lot of flashy paint schemes out there, but, you know, keep it simple. It's easy to fix if something happens, and it still looks good in pictures.
You are 100% correct about that. Now, racing-wise, who would you say is your biggest influencer?
Definitely my dad. You know, my dad's been there since day one when he called me up and asked me if I wanted to race. And, you know, ever since then, me and him rose in the garage working, doing real and trying to just find something new to try. And, you know, without him, I really wouldn't be on the phone with you right now talking about my racing career. And definitely my crew and everything, and just I'm very fortunate to have the people I have around me.
That's very, I guess you could say, like, wholesome to hear, you know, especially since, of course, you know, that a very close bond right there. Now, Stafford Speedway, very tough track to get around. How would you describe a lap?
Definitely, basically, what everybody says, turn 1 and 2 are completely different than 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is basically like Daytona, and then 1 and 2 is like Martinsville. I mean, it's completely different race style in each corner, which I think makes Stafford unique. And, you know, definitely going down that front stretch, turn 1's awfully really tight. You got to make that swooping corner, and the 3 and 4 is a little more relaxed. And, you know, whoever can get those 2 corners down is going to end up winning the race at the end of the night. But, you know, I think it's pretty neat. I love that track.
Yeah, I gotta say, Stafford has some of the best modified racing in America, in the world. Would you say it holds that?
Definitely. I feel like Stafford has really upped their game the past couple of years. You know, I think it's one of the top tracks you can race at nowadays. You know, Stafford's, you know, all their facilities are awesome. The people interacting is awesome. The fan base is great. The social media is great. The YouTube and everything. All like the live streaming, that's the best thing they've ever done for the people who can't come weekly. And I just feel like they're doing an awesome thing for short track racing in the Northeast.
Yeah, Stafford Speedway really is definitely in it with the fans, which, of course, everyone loves. Now, going back onto the track, do you have any rivals out there, really any driver or drivers that you see yourself competing with week in and week out?
You know, everybody's really competitive. I mean, I think our rivals this year are going to be, you know, Alexander Burrow, Nick Anglais, definitely Derek Debus, you know, Chapman's. I mean, there's 3 of those kids, so I mean that's 3 of them basically to worry about per se. But you know, definitely just the younger veterans, let's say, that have been there, you know, that have got experience. You know, and even got the old veterans, you know, Joey Farino and all them guys. Chris Matthews. I mean, them guys are legends basically in that division. They've been there since it started, per se. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's all kinds of different age. You got, you know, 15, let's say, all the way to, you know, upper 40s. So, I mean, there's a different maturity level in everybody. So,
yeah, a lot of different experience levels for sure in that SK like division, and same thing with the SK modified division. Now, speaking of SK Modifieds, do you see yourself being in the full-blown mods within the next 3 years?
Yeah, I feel like we'll be moving up, in a couple of years. I mean, not next year, we did the year before, but we're definitely going to find something to do. We'll definitely try to, get our sponsors going, and maybe we'll get into an open 80 car or something like that. I like to race one of them cars one day, so.
And now,
Yeah, definitely would love to, race an SK or even open modified, in the upcoming 5 years or so.
that'd be very cool. Now, nice little goal for yourself. Now, for any people who want to possibly sponsor you in the future, how do they reach out to you?
You can definitely reach out to us on Facebook, and then we can talk. I'll give you my personal phone number. We can communicate there, or definitely, yeah, Facebook or Instagram, any one of my social media pages. You're more than welcome to come forward with whatever you guys want to do. If you want to come on board for 2021 or even beyond that.
Very good to hear. Hopefully you get some more with this video. Now, is there anything that you'd like to say to the people watching this video?
I like to, I appreciate all you guys coming out and, supporting Dominic and his little goal here and trying to become, the best, basically, in podcasts. And I feel like you're doing a really good job, buddy. And
thank you.
Keep pushing forward. You got to keep striving for your goals. And if you don't strive, you're never going to get anywhere. So
thank you very much.
You're doing an amazing job. And you guys subscribe and got some great content coming up.
Thank you very much. Once again, folks, this is SK Light Driver, George Bessette Jr. George, thank you for being on the New York Sports Show.
Thank you for having me.